didn't get into heavy metal to play perfectly, to sound exactly the way that we sound on the album. Like, I got into heavy metal because I was pissed off and I wanted to make music that was fucking...
Yo, so I got Noah with me from White Phosphorus and NECKBEARD DEATHCAMP. We're gonna ask him a few questions. Noah, what drives you to want to perform the type of music you do?
I like the stuff that we make, both in NECKBEARD and White Phos. You know, for the sort of varying degrees of the seriousness that both projects take. Because I don't know. I guess I never understand that thing that people say when they're like, oh, I find my music like therapeutic to make. It's very funny to me when people are like, oh yeah, like music is my therapy. I make this music. Because the art that I make drives me fucking crazy. Well, yeah, because I just, you know, I focus on some shit that I really hate, and then I write some really hostile shit about it, and in my mind, that like works me into a frenzy.
So, I met you through NECKBEARD DEATHCAMP, but I was surprised to hear you don't consider that your main project. What, like, separates your solo project, White Phosphorus, from NECKBEARD DEATHCAMP?
So, White Phos was first. White Phos was a project that I started where I sort of take the whole, like, anarchist, anti-fascist politics stuff very seriously, you know?
Correct.
And I, like, try to keep it really mean and really no fun and no humor. And, like, White Phos, or not White Phos, NECKBEARD was a thing that we started probably a year and a half later, kind of as a joke.
Right.
That it gained sort of significantly more traction because it's, I don't know, it's more fun and it's more...
Yeah, you got a full band behind you, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
My next question that leaded to that was, you know, I remember seeing you with like a fucking wall of pedals when you were doing live stuff. Like, what was that, you know?
So that is the box of stuff that I had originally built for White Phos, that I also do the NECKBEARD vocals through. It is a mixer.
Okay.
And that mixer has an FX send channel.
Yep.
So when I say something into the microphone, it processes through guitar pedals at that volume instead of a decreased microphone volume.
Right.
So it is a pedal called the Digitech Drop, which will drop the vocal signal an entire octave.
It's all coming together now.
Demon sound, you know?
Dude, it's all coming together now.
And it's also that Digitech Drop is like a massive signal boost, so it makes it really loud. So it clips.
Right.
Which cuts the high and low end off and just produces like this big shitty fucking rectangle of noise.
Has just a wall of noise.
And then that goes through an HM2. That wall of noise goes through the shittiest guitar distortion pedal ever made.
Hell yeah.
That I have turned all the way up. And then it goes through a delay pedal and a reverb pedal for that big caveman sound.
How did you come up with the name White Phosphorus?
So actually, I always sort of like it when people ask me this about White Phos specifically. Because like NECKBEARD DEATHCAMP was just, you know, it was like a very sort of like reactionary joke to something shitty that some guy said to me one time. And so like the name White Phosphorus is very specific in that it is not actually like the traditional spelling of white phosphorus, which is a chemical weapon that the United States uses, but is white phosphorus like O-R-O-U-S at the end, which makes it an adjective. And that's like things with the quality pertaining to white phosphorus, or things that are white phosphorus in nature.
Interesting.
And what I mean by that is that like white phosphorus is a incendiary weapon that if you spray it on somebody, like burns through muscle and skin and bone and just incinerates bodies and like cuts people in half and just leaves these like charred skeletons all over the ground. But so like when you play Call of Duty or whatever and you throw a smoke grenade,
I was just playing that.
When they call it the Willie Pete grenade, the Willie Pete, the WP is the sort of shorthand for white phosphorus. In that white phosphorus is like a pretty high-end smoke grenade. And so like you have all these countries who are continuing to use white phosphorus as an incendiary weapon and just like torching little Palestinian kids and just like throwing like fucking terrible chemical weapons into people's homes. And they're just like, oh, well, it's a smoke grenade, so it's fine. You're allowed to do that. That's not a war crime. But people still get torched with this awful chemical weapon. And nobody can criticize anybody because they're like, well, we didn't use it like that. And I think that the United States specifically does a ton of shit like that. You know, like they're doing it right now with this whole fucking coronavirus thing. Like, everybody is locked in their fucking houses, and you have cops rolling down the street 24/7, arresting people on their way to the grocery store because that's like not essential or whatever.
Yeah.
But, I mean, that's just a fucking police state. But everybody's like, oh no, it's fine because it's a pandemic. Like, this country is like, oh no, it's fine that we have fucking concentration camps because they're to stop illegal immigration. Oh no, it's fine we like overthrow every single fucking government in South America because we're stopping communism or whatever. Like, it's this fucking awful set of things that we as a nation do, but then like brand differently so that normal dummies are like, oh, that's fine. That's not the thing that they're doing. But it is the thing that we're fucking doing, you know?
So, teach me something that nobody knows about either Neckbeard or your solo project that you'd like to share.
I thought for a minute about this one, because like what, you know, I was always sort of very out there about myself.
Right.
And I think the sort of funny part about this whole thing is that my first band ever was a folk punk project.
Dude, that was going to be one of the questions I asked you, was like, what was the first project you were in?
Yeah, I played washboard in a folk punk project.
So if a fan wanted to support your projects, what would like mean the most to you personally?
When you buy stuff from Neckbeard, we obviously get the money, but we don't keep the money. Like if you're trying to like donate money to charity, buy shit from Neckbeard. If you want to put $5 in my hand, you'll buy something from White Phosphorus. And if you want to give Evan $5, you'll buy stuff from his project, Sankara, or one of any of his other 4 million projects.
So my last question to you is, how do you balance your music with personal obligations?
At first it was extremely hard, if I was being totally honest, because Neckbeard required a truly insane amount of attention that I think like quite negatively affected a lot of my personal relationships.
Yep.
It required an endless amount of attention, and it was like, you know, you would get some news that was like so cool. You know, they were like, oh yeah, this magazine wants to do some shit with you. And then, you know, 20 minutes later, it's like, all right, like your information is being posted on fucking Stormfront.
Yeah.
And so it was a lot of shit like that, and it really sort of took a toll on my mental health, because, you know, I was working like more than full time at this job that I didn't really like, and I didn't have a lot of money, but I have since found like a much more like an equilibrium to the whole thing.